What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Tay, and today we got Trey, as in Trey Harris from Ole Miss. Really, really, really love this prospect. He is my number two receiver in the draft. Yes, over Tedero McMillan. 6'3", 210, plays like it. I compare him to like a AJ Brown, like a little smaller than AJ Brown, but kind of that DK play style type in terms of physicality. Really physical receiver. Really had a great year. Was cut short due to injury, but still had 1,000 yards. He played about 8 games. Had 7 touchdowns in those games. So yeah, let's get into the film. First, we have his run after catch, his yards after catch, which I think is elite. If you watched the last video on Travis Hunter, I was saying his is elite, but Trey Harris might be even better just because of the physical element that he adds to it. As you see here, he's also can just make a person miss in the phone booth. His juke ability, elusiveness is, just as good as his trucking ability and as his physicality. So I really like that about him. He could take a screen, he could take a hitch, he could take, a short route and just make a man miss. And like I said in the last video, it's all about making that first guy miss. Here he's using his block square, knows how to use his block. Here is what I was talking about 2 plays ago, just making a person miss. We'll see that play again in the phone booth, just and able to make a miss like that. He does his time and time again throughout the season. He's really good at that. Also, I wanted to break this play down because he also understands when to just stand there and catch it and when to move just a little bit before catching it. As you can see here, he starts to move right there before he even catches the ball so he can put that front foot forward and then step to the side to make that man miss. And it's all about just getting positive yards because this is thrown behind 2 to 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Excuse me. This is thrown 2 to 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he's able to make a man miss and get five yards up the field. I mean, it's really good. And as you can see, how he just uses that step before he catches the ball. I mean, these are things that you can't teach. These are natural things, for him. So I really like intangibles that you can't teach that Trey Harris definitely has. Next, we get into just more of his physicality. We'll definitely get into plays that show more of his physicality, but this is just focusing on his run after the catch. Just able to slip away from that tackle. He's not afraid of contact. He actually invites the contact, which, like I said, we'll get more into. Here he just slips, and like I said, not afraid of contact. He's not running out of bounds, and it takes multiple people to bring him down. And I don't want to talk too much about his physicality part of his game because, like I said, we have that coming up. But just to run at the catch, like he's slippery, he's a looseness, he can juke. It very rarely is the first person gonna tackle him. Here, he just takes one to the crib, is wide open, shows full effort, and trying to get that touchdown. I actually think this was down at the 1, but he's gonna give his all every single play, and I really like that. Just his speed. We're also gonna get into that. His speed is crazy. His route running is not the best, and we're definitely gonna get into his route running as well. But it's not that he can't run routes. I just think that they didn't ask a lot of him, and so like I said, we'll get more into that. Next we have deep threat. I think this is deep threats. If a team drafts him, whoever drafts him, if they don't use him as a deep threat, they're literally crazy. Like a team might draft him high. I think he should be first round. I have him wide receiver 2, like I said, over T Mac, over Matthew Golden, over Emeka Ibuka, over Luther Burden, and a lot of them is, I say, outside of Ted. And Matthew Golden obviously has the speed, but just being like a true like AJ Brown type of deep threat. I mean, Trey Harris is right up there. Trey Harris is right up there in this class. You see, he's able to contort his body to catch that, which he did a lot. Catching a deep pass from Jetson Dart this season. Just he's like I said, if a team doesn't use him as a deep threat, they're literally crazy. This is one of his best attributes, if not the best part of his game. And like he didn't even catch that, but you just see the separation he has. and a lot of his deep passes are on two people. It's on the corner and the safety. He's a yard to 3 yards in front of them. This he had to step on the corner. He still has to catch this. Justin Dart threw it about a yard short. But as you can see, he just has a step. He always has a step on the corner, and most of the times has a step on the corner and the safety. As you can see here, he drops his pass. It was a big game. This would raise a big red flag for me, like a big concern. Everybody drops the ball, but just being that wide open in such a big game, you have to catch that. But he was like 5 yards, away from, the safety and the corner. And, the next time he had the ball targeted to him, this is what he does. Catches a deep pass, and he scored a touchdown in this game that we're going to see later on. So is another either. I think this was his last catch of last season before he got injured early in the game at Florida. Like I said, you see the corner and the safety there. Got a step on both of them, able to pull it in for a touchdown. I mean, his deep threat is just amazing. It's A+ tier 1 level, and this is his physicality. Now we can finally talk about his physicality into depth. He puts a shoulder into people, making a man miss. He's not going to go out of bounds. He's going to go inbounds to try to find more yards. Does a good job of holding on to the ball. Doesn't let, his physicality be a detriment to him. And I don't know how he got injured. I should have, looked up that play on how he got injured. But, how I know how he re-injured himself in that Florida game. It was just a catch and he kind of landed wrong on his groin, but I'm not sure how he initially hurt his groin. But he's physical. So if he's able to stay healthy, that would definitely be great for him. And I don't. That's not really a main concern for me. Like I said, I compare him to like a AJ Brown type, a little smaller. But AJ Brown don't really have any major injury issues. So that was just physicality. This right here is his route running. In the red zone, a fade route, back shoulder, good throw, late hands, not really a push off. Just a good route. This is right here. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about. What I was saying that they didn't ask him to do a lot because he's just running a simple, skinny post. He doesn't really do nothing at the top of his route. And that's what I wanted to touch on. It's a simple 1, 2, 3, 4 cut on the fifth step, but the corner is like 5, to 7 yards off. So he's able to catch this, and him being, physical, at the point of, the catch and physical after the run, he gets this touchdown. You're not going to tackle him in this situation, just a stiff arm. That just shows how physical he is. But well, this play right here. As you can see, he runs basically the same route. The corner's a little bit more up and able to break on it. So that's not going to work in the NFL. If you just running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cut, that's not always going to work. That's a easy tail for the corner, and that was the SEC corner. So just imagine the NFL corner. They're going to see that. But like I said, he has the route running in his bag, as you can see right here. This double move, a nasty double move against the SEC corner, South Carolina. Does a double move, really no wasted steps. Kind of a 1-2, and that second step is pushing him upfield. Create separation, about 3 to 4 yards of separation. And Justin Dart actually gets hit. And so if this was, on the line, if this was a line ball, this would have been a touchdown. Still gets inside the 5. A great play. So I wouldn't say that, his route running is just totally not there. I think he can do it. I think if you ask him to run a route a certain way, he can do it. But he just didn't do it a lot because, he's a deep threat. And, he'll catch slants and screens and skinny posts and things like that. I don't think they asked him to do too much all the time, but I do think it's in his ability. So that really didn't, bother me a lot either. Even though, it is something to bring up just on that play that was broken up by the corner on that skinny post. They're gonna easily tell. They're gonna easily, tell what you're doing in the NFL. This is just a great play. Being physical at the point, of the ball. This is that LSU game where he dropped the ball. I think he had 100 yards in like every game, but 1 or 2 games. He was very, very efficient and effective. This that play from earlier. This is just showcasing his speed, how he's able to get between like 3 people, like going away from the corner. The safety can't catch him. The other corner can't catch him. I mean, it looks like he's gliding. It doesn't even look like he's running for real. And it looks like they're trying their best to run. I think he ran a 4.5 actually. Before the combine, I had watched this tape, and I put down 4.3 speed with a question mark because he runs away from everybody. As you can see here, going against the LSU secondary, he's like has a 5 yard separation on him. I mean, they're like 30 yards down the field at that point, and he's just blowing past them. Like, see, just right here, able to blow past them again and get separation. Like his speed is amazing. That's just a play where it was in traffic. And just look at his speed. This is a play where his speed. He's just able to separate. Like, look at that. The corner's not even trying, and he definitely has that second gear that he can tap into, and I think he has football speed. And I think Golden is somebody. This is a play where he got injured, but I think Golden is somebody that ran a 4.2, like high 4.2s, but doesn't play like he ran a 4.2. Trey Harris is somebody that ran a 4.5, but plays like he ran a 4.29. He plays like he ran Golden speed. So I think everything that they're hyping up Golden to be, I think it's Trey Harris. And thanks for watching. Well, I definitely come with my next wide receiver pretty soon, so stay tuned. And like, comment, subscribe, follow the socials, and comment because I want to see what are y'all top 5 receivers. I'm gonna comment back. I'm gonna use it just for reference to see like, okay, like this many people have this person top 5, and so I just want to be interactive. Appreciate y'all viewing the last video. I think it's at like 15 views. My goal was 10, so my goal for this video is 20, and we're gonna keep going. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we out.